Dear ones, I am Archangel Michael. Many are a little uncomfortable with this sequence of comments on the letters and the complementary texts of the letters of Christ. Annoyed, because they were unable to read, they are a little slow in understanding. So it's like I'm telling them the end of the film before they watch it. My brothers, the journey is not simple. The fact that I comment on a good part of what the letters say is simply for you to gain understanding. Disconnect my words from the letters, then understand that I am just continuing my teachings. Don't worry about being late or not understanding much. Everything in its own time. Each of you has a way of understanding and assimilating what is said. Some more easily, others not so much. However, no one is better than anyone else. If he had the ability to quickly understand what was written there, great for him, and may he continue on his journey. Now if you don't understand, it's slow or slow, in your opinion, what's the problem? Did I set a date? I even commented that you should have read all the letters, but what I said you should have read, I didn't say understood. Understanding may take years and this is absolutely normal, the important thing is that you understand. This is the great secret in reading these letters, not read like any book you read, put on the shelf, and what you read there, something went in, something didn't. What you have to do is assimilate each letter fully. Last as long as it lasts, 1 month, 2 months, 3, it doesn't matter, what matters is that you do your walk correctly. There's no point in wanting to rush, I need to read it because everyone has already read it and I'm late. What's the problem? Is someone charging you? Is someone blaming you for being late? In fact, behind who? Is there a milestone? Is there a stipulated finish line? So there is no delay. Each person is doing it in their own time, in their own understanding, their ability to absorb what is being said. If these letters were simple, they wouldn't have so many changes in their ways of thinking. So the important thing is that everyone reads, everyone studies, everyone absorbs the words that are there in the deepest way possible. It doesn't matter how long it will take, do it as long as you can. No problem. Well, as we started yesterday, today I will comment on the texts of letters 4 to 8. So the main foundation of the complementary text of letter 4 is love, in which Sananda comments that there are 2 types of love, human love and love spiritual. I will try to give a brief description of each one here. Spiritual love is the one that can transcend any problem, can transcend any obstacle, it is the one that thinks about you, your happiness, but also thinks about the happiness of those around you. But no charges, no waiting for rewards, it's that love given from the heart, without expecting any kind of gratitude. It's that unconditional love, that even if the other person often doesn't give it back to you the way you think they should, you understand, and accept that your donation is unique, regardless of what the person does or does not do. It is that love that understands that the other, is not a piece of you, is not the continuation of you. The other is another soul, regardless of being a child, regardless of being a companion, regardless of being whatever he is in your life. You are one soul, he is another, so you respect his path, you don't intrude, you don't force him, you don't induce him. This is spiritual love, the one that realizes that the lessons are there to be learned, and each one has their own. That is not by preventing the other person from going through a problem, that you will be helping them, because many times you will be preventing them from fulfilling that mission, from understanding that mission, because you interfered. So it's accepting that you can give good advice, that you can show the good path and the bad path. But let the person choose the path they want, even if it's the most painful one for you, it's the one you're sure they're going to get hurt on, but it's their journey. They need to get hurt to grow, to evolve, to learn, and really agree with you that that path would lead you nowhere. So this is spiritual love, the one that transcends any obstacle. You simply love, you don't demand anything in return, understand that the other person has their own way and you have to respect it. Human love is one that does none of the things I said previously. He is the one who dominates, he is the one who demands, he is the one who demands, he is the one who is never satisfied. You always think that you love the other person more than the other person loves you, you always think that everything you do should receive greater recognition, that everything you do should be placed in a window or placed on a poster for everyone to see, so that you feel valued. So actually when you expect a response, a thank you, you just want to keep your pride high. I did something good, I did something wonderful, and he's thanking me. And then your pride fills up. Who is speaking at this time? It's not your soul, it's your ego, which is important to you for that person to praise you, to say that what you did was good. Then your ego becomes inflated, you feel wonderful, wonderful, because of what was said. So it's that dependent love, which depends on another to live, which depends on another to walk, which depends on another even to breathe. This is not spiritual love, this is the love of the ego in which one becomes small, one becomes submissive, one becomes inferior to have the attention of that other, supposedly demanding a love, which most of the time does not exist. So you cancel yourself out, you sink yourself, you cover yourself up to the world, only for the other person to feel sorry for you. Ah, if he feels sorry for me he will love me. Nobody loves it when you show that you want people to feel sorry for you. They have this pity, not love. So my brothers, see what kind of love you are emanating to those around you, on any level. It's that spiritual love that you give yourself and don't ask for anything in return, because you know that everything you receive you planted in some way. If the other person is being ungrateful to you and you are aware that you did something right, it is not you who has to suffer, it is not you who has to feel diminished, despised, or disregarded, the other is that you will have to deal with the universe, because you received something excellent and didn't know how to value it. So the other person's path will be the problem, not yours. So my brothers, try to analyze intimately the type of love you have given, and always ask yourself that main question, do you love each other first? Because as long as you love others and forget to love yourself, you will not love anyone, you will be begging for the love of others, doing everything possible and impossible to make others love you, because in this way you think you will be rewarded. So the first step to get out of ego love, and go to spiritual love, is to love yourself first, to make yourself happy first, to make yourself powerful, first. Then yes, after that you will be ready to love each other without any demands. Because you are donating, the other person accepts if he wants. It's not your problem if he doesn't accept your love, it's his problem, and it's a problem that he will have to solve, not you. If he doesn't accept it, that's his problem, you're doing what you think is right. So think about it, what kind of love have you given to those around you? Very good. Regarding the text of letter 5, Sananda comments about you believing that there is something stronger, that you can really hold on to. You can believe that you have support there, a form of evolution. I have said and repeated to you for several days that you all have the divine spark. Explaining once again, this spark is a piece, it is a small unfolding of our Father or Mother God. So you all have a piece of it within your physical body, within your soul, at this moment, because it is this spark that keeps you alive and keeps you human beings. How it keeps animals, how it keeps anything on this planet. Very good. Many still continue with limiting beliefs, that they are not worthy of having the presence of our Father or Mother God within their chest, that they do not feel worthy of having the presence of Sananda within their chest, or that of any other being of light. Because you are a sinner. As long as you think like this, really, all those beings of light that should be around you will be miles away because you are pushing them away. I already told you that you have a very important thing called free will, in which you do what you think is right. So we are all around the soul, or around this small piece of the soul that is incarnated. Very good. If you are people who believe in divine power, who believe that there is something greater that can make you completely happy, who believe that it is worth walking always seeking the path of good and evolution, these thoughts all attract and emanate light. And by emanating light, you attract us, your light attracts our light, and then we will come closer and closer to you, helping you, giving you intuitions, giving you inspiration. But that connection, that coupling to walk together all the time, you need to give us permission for that, so that we can even intervene in your journey. It's as if you gave us, as you like to say, carte blanche, to do whatever we want, and whatever is best for you. But for this you have to allow this to happen, you have to simply believe that all the light that is around you, and which is also the fruit of the divine spark, has the capacity to attract into your life and into your path whatever is of better for you, that which was determined on that path of the soul, on that road that was traced at the moment of its incarnation. So when you open up and give us this role, your life takes a new direction, because you emanate light, you attract us, and we always give you back situations that make you get closer and closer to your path and evolve. Now if you think that everything that happens, including the bad, is our fault, every time you think that we move away, to show you that it is not our fault, that's your fault, you attracted that problem into your life. Because we would never bring something into your lives that wasn't good, this explains when you make a request and are not answered. Then you start blaspheming that we don't love you, that you're a poor thing, that nothing you ask for, you get. It just wasn't for your path, it wasn't good for you, so it wasn't attended to. Can you notice this? Many times you can, but in the vast majority you don't. So be sure that you have many beings of light around you, but to effectively have their help, you have to give this power to them and emanate light more and more. Because as long as you emanate low vibrational feelings and actions, they stay away, and those actions that would take you to that happy and elevated soul path will not happen. So vibrate high, vibrate in the light, so that we can get closer, and above all, give us permission so that we can manipulate your life, so that you grow more and more, no matter how much you think it will lead to nothing. Now talking about the text of letter 7, Sananda explains to you about the strength of the consciousness you have. As already explained, everything is made up of particles that, through electromagnetism, create things and situations. So many still don't understand, when we talk here, that the balance of their bodies is the key to everything. You are in a stressful world, a world that is demanding professionally and dangerous in terms of life. So those bad vibes, they're everywhere. Those people who today are isolated at home, who don't watch television, who hardly talk to people abroad, who are always shouting, who manage to remain balanced, who participate in countless spiritual experiences. Great, this is wonderful. Just realize that your surroundings are perfect, you don't have anyone telling you bad things all day long, you don't have friends around you saying the same thing all day long, you don't have a grumpy boss who is telling you demanding work, all the time, you don't have deadlines to meet, you don't have duties to perform, you don't have the hassle of having to fire someone, or simply get their attention. In other words, your world is wonderful. It's the world you all wanted. I will tell you that you are now reaping everything you sowed. You are at home today, able to prepare yourself because you planted this. Good for you, keep enjoying your calm moments. But the vast majority, of those who are not awake, I won't even say anything, but the vast majority of awakened people go through everything I said and a little more, throughout the day. So you have to, what we always say here, you have to be loud all day, you have to only think about good things. Then someone always arrives to tell you about a complicated situation, then, in a little while, someone else will arrive to tell you about a problem, soon someone else will arrive to ask you something absurd, which you know you won't be able to do, but he asks, and even says, I trust you will do it. In other words, that balance of yours, that you left home in the morning, put on your violet clothes, that balance of yours starts to break down, starts to go away, because you have a whole means to support it. And I tell you this, the more evolved, the more enlightened you are, the more problems will come in front of you, because the great objective around you is to take away your balance, to lower your guard, to take away this stronghold that he has. So people are induced to tease you, to poke you, to say rude things to you, so that you get out of your balanced state. Then many may ask, what do I do at this time? I would say that something quick and extremely powerful is for you to shout, I am light, 3 times, not shouting in your own way of speaking, but shouting in your brain with great conviction. Because this phrase has immense power and is said 3 times in a moment of distress, it has the power to restore your energy, it has the power to put you in balance again. So realize that you will say this thousands of times during the day, but it is the only way, my brothers, that you have to live with the environment. Or will you also isolate yourself at home, stop working, and what will you live off? Will you live on light? No, it is not the time yet, you are not evolved for this. So you have to continue living in your environment, continue listening to those annoying colleagues, who only tell you about assaults, fights, problems, that boss who always demands more from you than you can do, because he supposedly trusts in your competence, and who screw you. How are you going to do it? So when you suffer this burden, stop for a moment, close your eyes and mentally shout, I am light, 3 times, and quickly your energy will rebalance itself, and you will even be able to fulfill what your boss asked you to do, in a way that you can't even imagine. Because you believe that everything around you will conspire for you to complete that task. So, you believe that the universe is conspiring to help you with everything, and I say more, you shouting this, you are filling yourself with light and you are emanating this light around you. So you end up balancing yourselves, and balancing those around you. And many will even ask themselves, why am I feeling different, strange? And they won't understand why. It's your light emanating, it's your light reaching their consciousness so that they stop saying so many wrong things. So my brothers, conscience is everything. The consciousness of everything you say, everything you think, everything you do is taken to the universe and is returned in the same intensity that you emanated. So if you emanate something with a lot of anger, it will come back in a very heavy way, bringing the same thing that caused you anger, and what will you have? More anger. Learn this. This is not invention, nor is it history, it is reality, it is the law of action and reaction. Everything you emanate, you receive back. If it is good, you will receive it in an even better way, if it is bad, you will receive it many times over, because that was probably a lesson that you didn't learn, and that you will have to go through it a little stronger, so that you can learn, otherwise you will always stay in the same place. So be aware of what you say, what you think, and what you want. Because nothing goes unnoticed in the universe. Anything. In relation to the text of letter number 8, in which Sananda asks you to believe that you are powerful beings, that you have an inherent strength, and that you are part of that divine spark. Get rid of dogmas, limiting beliefs, which only made you always walk in the same place on the scale of evolution. It made you always blame yourself, judge yourself, because everything you do is wrong, in the eyes of our Father or Mother God, and be careful later on. No, it's not the punishment, it's the harvest, of what you sowed. This has never been well understood, and your religions have made a point of showing you that you are eternal sinners, that you are always going against divine words, the words that were supposedly spoken by God or by Sananda. Many still cannot free themselves from these dogmas, many still think that, I, Sananda, Mother Mary, all the other archangels are on a very high pedestal, and that we could never be in contact with you, because you are dirty, you are sinners, you are bad, you have no morals to receive us, to listen to our voice. That's what many think. That's why I believe we can be part of someone's channeling. Who is he? Who does he think he is to be able to receive such a high being of light? How absurd! When can a person present themselves in this way, channeling a being of light? What a joke! That's what many of you think, which is why you don't believe that I'm the one speaking here, and many don't believe that it was Sananda who dictated these letters. That this is part of the mind of the person who wrote it, to try to change some things in the world, but that Sananda would never waste his time writing so many things. Yes, whoever still thinks like that, I really have some sad news for you, it will be very difficult for you to leave the third dimension. Because your heart is so trapped, it's so chained to ideas and dogmas that are so old, meaningless, that you can't open your mind to anything else, you believe in that and that's it. So continue with your heart and your mind, chained to your time, you are wasting your time here, because this is a place for people with open minds, not people with minds that are chained or tied to dogmas and limiting beliefs. If you want to continue with your beliefs, fine, continue, I respect your opinion. Later you will regret it. But it's your decision, you will reap what you sow now. For those who realize that everything that is said has meaning, that everything that Sananda said has strength, they are making a superhuman effort, often, to believe everything that is said, to realize how much they have been deceived. How much they believed in things that had nothing to do with what our Father or Mother God and Sananda intended for humanity. Everything was distorted, everything was modified at the pleasure of men, so that they could continue imposing their power. So my brothers, take a stand, either you believe or you don't believe, believing a little is not believing, either you undress, cut these ties and these shackles from your heart and your mind, and let yourself be carried away by this wave of wisdom and new concepts, or you stay tied to where you are, there is no middle ground. It's as if you've cut half the bonds, one part was tied up there, and the other part wanted to walk. As the bonds won't let you out, they don't let him walk. So, either you break all the bonds or you won't leave the place. There is no middle ground. Ah, I believe half of what Sananda says. So you don't believe in anything, because Sananda doesn't say anything that can take away one half and the other continues. Everything has a context. So, either you believe everything, or you believe nothing. Cut half of the ties like that, then I'm going to put my foot there, if I don't like it I'll come running back here, here I'm safe, here I have my ties, I won't get lost, but I'm going to put my foot in there and see what it's like. It's no use. It's the famous man on the fence, either you go or you don't go, half term is impossible to continue. So my brothers, assume the powerful being that you are, assume that you were deceived for a long time, learned the wrong things, which only made you manipulate and keep your lives stagnant in the same way, always. So now it's a different story, the path is open, the path is free, you just need to follow it. So my brothers, it's time to reflect. Even for those who haven't read the additional texts, what I'm saying here is enough to reflect on, it is enough for you to absorb what needs to be understood. And continue to be more and more firm on this journey. I am Archangel Michael. I am here, always, ready, to help each of you to cut these ties, to free yourself from all these dogmas and limiting beliefs.